Good, happy Tuesday evening, January 12th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's begin. First up, we begin with your COVID-19 updates. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, key data, maps, and graphs. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 52,307 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 22,515,032 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 869 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 267 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 375 to 39 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 490. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 4643. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, new hospitalization. And red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. In orange, current hospitalization. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate. Positive PCR and antigen test rate. And daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases and female and male of cases. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Overnight apartment fire in Manchester displaces 8 people. Police officers on routine patrol spot fire, officials say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Jackpot alert! How much? That much? We are so getting tickets! Hi, hoof!
Companies arrived on scene, found the porches of a 3-story apartment building fully involved in fire, with fire extending into the 2nd and 3rd floor.
The fire at 255 Auburn Street was reported around 1:20 in the morning after it was spotted by police on patrol. Officers helping to evacuate the residents, along with some neighbors. All 8 residents, 6 adults and 2 children, making it out safely. Firefighters did encounter some problems fighting the fire because of the roof.
There was multiple layers of roofing. There was some cedar shingles underneath a couple of layers of asphalt shingles. So that creates a problem for us getting access to where the cedar shingles were burning.
It took firefighters about an hour to get the 2-alarm fire under control. The cold overnight also making fighting the fire more difficult.
That much water being put on the fire would create a lot of ice. And creates a slippery condition for us.
One firefighter did suffer a minor injury and was treated at the scene. At this point, the cause of the fire remains under investigation. As far as the residents, the Red Cross is assisting them in finding places to stay, but right now it doesn't look like they'll be able to return home. In Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Amherst man accused of threatening 6 members of Congress for failing to support President Trump. Man threatened to hang congressional members, authorities say. A man accused of threatening members of Congress. Authorities arrest Render Winger, 33, of Amherst. Man left his name or number in some of the phone messages, officials say. Phone calls made December 16th through December 17th, 2020, according to officials. In Amherst, man is facing federal charges for allegedly threatening congressional leaders in case that is unrelated to last week's riot at the U.S. Capitol. Rinder Wieger, 33, left voicemails at the office of 6 members of Congress on December 16th and 17th, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office. According to the federal complaint, Winger identified himself by name or identified his telephone number in some of the messages. Authorities said in one of the voicemails, Winger allegedly said, "I got some advice for you. Here's the advice. Donald Trump is your president. If you don't get behind him, we're going to hang you until you die." Winger was arrested Monday in Boston. New Hampshire GOP attacks delegation for skipping line to get vaccine. State Republican leaders are slamming the state's 2 Democrat U.S. senators and a congresswoman for moving to skip the line and get the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine ahead of New Hampshire seniors. Concord School Board takes stand against racism. In light of the recent events and the rise of anti-Semitism, racism, and bigotry across the state, we, the Concord School Board, reframe our community to stand up against these injustices and work toward making our district more tolerant, inclusive, and safe for each other, members of our community, the statement read. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this evening. Stock closed flat. Goldman Sachs leads banks higher. Stocks along with flat line on Tuesday as traders weighed high rates, possible stimulus, and political turmoil. And let's take a look at the U.S. stock market now. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you right now. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in green and went up. S&P 500 closed in green and went up. Gold closed in green and went up. Oil closed in green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VIX closed in the red and went down. FBI. State capitals could be targeted of armed protest. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Overnight, new evidence revealed in the fast-moving investigation into the chaos on Capitol Hill. New pictures from the FBI show the man suspected of planting 2 pipe bombs at the Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters. And this morning, a stunning revelation from Congressman Tim Ryan, who confirms 2 Capitol police officers have been suspended for their actions during last week's riot. One officer is accused of taking selfies with the rioters. The other allegedly directed people who breached the Capitol.
One was the selfie officer, and another was an officer who had put a MAGA hat on and started directing some people around.
Ryan says as many as 15 other Capitol police officers are now under investigation. Congressman Jim Clyburn has suggested the mob may have had inside information when they stormed the Capitol because they were able to find him inside an unmarked office.
That office is where I do most of my work. And for some reason, these people showed up at that office. But the office where my name is above the door, or on the door, and my position above the door was not disturbed.
This morning, an Army official is denying reports that he and others at the Pentagon rejected requests to activate the National Guard. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, who has resigned, told the Washington Post his requests were delayed or ignored, claiming Lieutenant General Walter Pyatt said, quote, "I don't like the visual of the National Guard standing a police line with the Capitol in the background." But this morning, Pyatt says he did not make the statement or any comments similar to what was attributed to me by Chief Sund. In the meantime, a new threat is emerging. Wisconsin State Capitol now boarded up as a new FBI bulletin warns armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals.
My own kids have expressed concern about me going to work, and my parents have reached out to me and expressed concerns about me going to work. I've had a number of constituents who have reached out to me and expressed concern. This isn't the way it should be.
Intelligence pointing to an unnamed armed group calling for the storming of government buildings and courthouses if President Trump is removed from office before January 20th. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is requesting all large-scale public events be canceled until at least January 24th. The Secret Service official overseeing the inauguration is not addressing specific threats, only saying security will be tight.
You're going to see checkpoints, you're going to see barricades, you're going to see magnetometer screening through all aspects and points of the city.
And up to 15,000 National Guardsmen could be deployed here to Washington, D.C. for Inauguration Day. Meanwhile, acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf resigned yesterday, so now FEMA Administrator Pete Gaynor takes over in his place.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for watching this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.